at the beginning or even the preseason of every high school sports season, there's always some sort of bastardized conditioning program out there. So I actually wrote an article about this on our blog, I guess about 3 years now, and it was titled "Don't Bastardize Conditioning." So the reason why I bring that up is because, a lot of what always gets me is, us being strength coaches, is that, if we were to say anything to a sport coach, like the football coach, a softball coach, volleyball coach, basketball coach, whatever it may be, we're like, hey, you know what? You should run this play. They get all pissed off. Tell us to basically stay in our lane. But because technically we're not experts in those sports. All right, fine, whatever. I don't see why there's a double standard, why these same sport coaches can turn around and be like, you know what? This is what you should do with the athletes. It's like, whoa, pump the fucking brakes, bro. Like, you're going to tell me that what I do for a living doesn't reach your standards because, I don't know, you started fucking doing some bullshit ass lifting when you were like 8? Like, that, and it had no effect, on why or why not you were good. Like, I mean, I don't know. I could go on and on and on about that, but let's just bring this back to conditioning and why it's so important. So, when it comes to conditioning, it's a lot more than just running your athletes to the ground. It's a lot more than just making you feel pain, right? There is a science to it. And, if you want to really be extremely effective in planning out a conditioning program and executing it properly and reaping all the benefits from it, then you will have complete regard to the central nervous system. So remember, when it comes to conditioning, what are you trying to improve? You're trying to improve your energy output, right? You want to increase the amount of work that you can create. So, why is all this important? Why do I bring this up? Why is this such a big deal to me? Well, because athletes come in here all the time for us to make them better. The second they leave, they go to their sport, they go to their practice, whatever it may be. Let's say they're playing lacrosse. They go to lacrosse practice, their coach just has them, and we're talking, some of them are D1, D2 college lacrosse players. The coach has them running a timed 2.5 mile, 3 mile. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, if you were to actually take a stopwatch and time, start and stop that stopwatch on every explosive play that athlete had, they're not running a continuous mile the entire game. They need to be able to create some sort of anaerobic explosion, some explosive movement for a short amount of time, usually not more than 10 seconds, which is extremely long anyway. It's for maybe a few seconds, and then they got to shut it down, regather themselves, do it again, and be able to repeat that, right? You're never going to do that if all you're doing is executing some sort of cardio bunny workout. So I'm not going to call out any types of gyms or companies out there, but, it's just hysterical to me that, let's go back to lacrosse again. A lot of college lacrosse players that come in here, they're held to some ridiculously, in my eyes, stupid run test that doesn't translate to their game of basically repeated efforts of long sprints. So the athletes feel pressured to, run on a treadmill for an hour at a time, 4 to 5 times a week, running basically miles and miles a day, when that's not gonna make them better. Like, when it comes to increasing your aerobic capacity, and that's the energy system, that's probably the energy system you definitely need to, no, I shouldn't say probably, it's the energy system that you definitely need to improve first. But once you improve it, you only need to work on it every 30 days. That's it. Sprint work needs to be done every 5 to 7 days. Once you create a foundation for your aerobic system, you don't need to run fucking 3, 5, 7 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Like, I mean, unless you just want to fucking sit the bench or constantly get hurt,
And we take pride on really waiving everything in here, whether it's for
Absolutely.
our athletes or our adults, right?
Yes.
We do that for a reason. There's methods that we follow in here on purpose to keep everybody at their best. We tax them to a certain point, we push them, and then we let them recover.
Yes, and that's not to get that mixed up with the term muscle confusion, because I hate that fucking term. It's fucking stupid. A comedian made it up. Yes, I'm saying he's a comedian because he was a comedian. He was a fucking beach mime before he actually became a trainer, quote unquote. So I'm not even going to mention that person. You guys can Google the shit out of that if you want. But yeah, muscle confusion, fucking suck it. That's bullshit. But let's bring this back to conditioning. So, why is conditioning so important? Well, the body cannot work or survive without energy, right? So in the body, energy is provided in the form of ATP, which is also known as adenosine triphosphate, okay? Where's ATP produced? It's produced by the body from the foods it consumes. Then that is used aerobically, which the word aerobic means with oxygen. It's used, the food is then transferred through your body with oxygen, and anaerobically, which means without oxygen, right? Between the aerobic system and the anaerobic system, the aerobic system is most efficient, right? So let's also go back to one basic fundamental point too when it comes to energy system training. Although there's three, there's the aerobic, anaerobic lactic, anaerobic alactic, your body's never using only one at a time. So it's important to work all three, right? Again, it's just why I can't stand when people really want to see any type, like even for our weekday warriors, you want to see great physical changes in your body, but you want to tell me that all you're concerned about is fucking spinning or running, and that's all you're ever doing. Meanwhile, like, if that's all you ever do and it's not getting you anywhere, why would you continue to keep doing it? That's literally the definition of insanity. Whatever. We can talk about that in another episode because I'm going to need a lot more time to rant about that. So, between the aerobic system and anaerobic system, the aerobic system is most efficient, right? Properly programmed conditioning will increase an athlete's work capacity, thus resulting in more ATP production, which in turn means more energy, right? Now, going back to our first topic, about nutrition, none of this matters or will be as effective as possible if you're not eating properly. So if you're not getting your micronutrients from all the veggies that you should be eating, if you're not getting enough carbs, which is why I hate when people are like, I'm just going to detox, I'm not going to eat any carbs. Oh, yeah, fuck it, you don't need the carbs. Yeah. You
need carbs.
I guess you just want to die. That's what you want to do.
Yes, you can lose weight by eating carbs.
Yes, everybody needs carbs.
What about, can we bring it back to one of the stories we heard, is this past summer where one of our wonderful athletes, whom I love, A Quiet Storm, I think, she was saying about how she lost 30 pounds during season because the coach kept running them to the ground, literally.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ground. She lost 30 pounds and she was weak.
She wasn't even big anyway.
No, but
so someone skinny losing 30 pounds is ridiculous.
Any coach that's out there.
And she wasn't sick. She didn't have a disease.
And they weren't lifting properly either.
And then 6 girls quit that team. 6 women quit that team. It's a college sport.
That's just one of the horror stories that we've heard. One of the many.
For improper
There's got to be
conditioning.
some sort of programming and method to the madness. Just going ham all the time. There's no background for that.
No, and the problem is, if sport coaches want strength coaches stay in their lane, then it's that's got to be a two-way street. So when it comes to expertise in that field, the sport coach needs to listen to the strength coach, and if things aren't working out, then you know what? Sport coach, just do it yourself.
And respect each other. You don't have to like each other. Respect each other.